No, I was really amazed.
I thought it was pretty like MTV in the 90s, kind of I'm hip with the kids.
It really was.
Yeah.
Or like a Han event, the Han offline event host maybe.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was going for. I'm glad you caught my style.
Now we got In Control up here, who many of you know from a million different ways, from his illustrious Brood War career, from the game he just played,
Go
from
on,
his
Sean.
StarCraft 2 main event appearances, from his commentary, from his Warhammer play. I mean,
There's more.
you're known for so many things, Jeff. So we're not even going to talk about you. We got G5 on the sofa here.
Yeah.
G5, who even are you?
USA Protoss. I grew up playing with Nick and Dan and all the Americans and media and doing WCG USA every year. And, that's
You wear
who I am.
shoes now.
He is a Godman King.
Yeah,
is what he is.
You won WCG 2009, correct?
10.
2010.
Yeah.
Who did you play in the finals?
Nyokin, actually, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Nyokin. He's over there. So
Nyokin's like the award ceremony for the USA Finals. You have to go through him. He's the one who's like, you may now win.
You played him in the finals too, right? Yeah. Yep.
So we got this PvP coming up. Of two very good PvP players. We got White Raw versus Draco.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. Well, yeah, we'll see. They're old bones now. We'll see how they actually perform in this match. But PvP is an interesting matchup. There's a lot of deceptive stuff you can do early on. It's a matchup where I think the central unit besides the Dragoon is the Reaver. We're trying to play around a Reaver. So,
in a really basic sense, the start of the game is a lot about the Dragoon and the Reaver. Zealots aren't fast enough at the start of the game. Templar, they have Psionic Storm, but units aren't really clustered enough in the opening of the game because Dragoons manage to find every reason to go left and right instead of forward. And that really spreads your units out, so Storm isn't that great early. So it's just really about the Dragoons and Reavers until you get to 2+ bases, as in like 2-3 bases, and then you start to get a lot of money for Speed Zealots. Then you kind of want some Archons in there because your Archons can kill their Zealots very quickly and so on. And that'll be the simple look, but the early game is anything but straightforward. I actually feel like it's the most micro-intensive opening, and I play Zerg vs. Zerg, man.
Yeah, what I'm actually looking forward to the most is seeing how they open, right? Because they both came up in Europe and I assume have played a lot against each other. And there's certain things that you can do where if you suspect ET, you can do 3-gate observer and just take a risk and try blind countering it. So I'm curious how they're going to open.
Yeah, I mean, opening definitely the most important thing to watch for in a PvP is if they start to, or if you can trick them, if you can make it look like you're opening one way and then and give them a little bit of information, it's a red herring, and then completely drive the game in a different direction. This should be pretty interesting to see. I actually have no idea who's even a favorite here. These guys are both really good.
I got to throw it in for Draco. Draco's an absolutely legendary player in the scene, not only for being one of the few players who was a non-Korean player to go to Korea and play, did extremely well in the old ladders, where there were websites that ran ladders that were on top of regular StarCraft BattleNet. So the way it would work is that you would go on there, you'd open a match, you'd message a bot, it would create a match, and then when the match was done, the loser and the winner would message the bot again. The winner would upload a replay, it would archive that replay, and anyone could download it, and then the win-loss would adjust your ELO rating on the site. And so it was kind of like a mix of a tournament plus Twitch, because everyone would download each other's replays and watch. And for this reason, one season Draco wanted to get into the final tournament because the ladder lasted for 3 months, and then it was like a top 16 or top 32 tournament. And he wanted to get to that tournament, so he played Zerg for the entire duration of the tournament to get to top 16 until the finals when he busted out Protoss.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's crazy talented.
And he changed all of his hotkeys, so that way, instead of just saying, oh, yeah, well, I normally have my gates on 5, so I'm going to put my hatch on 5. He put, like, all his hatcheries on, like, 1 to 5 and all his units on 6 to 0. So he just looked like some weird hotkey setup Zerg player, and it was just Draco all along. And I would think that's a terrible idea because he's been practicing Zerg for 3 months.
Well, that's some crazy that's some crazy Batman
I also like
shit.
how
that is. That's like the craziest thing I've ever heard, but it ended up working. We're like, okay, all right. I guess if you can do it, that's fine. But
you guys are like the super Jedis at the scene, though. You guys are like, yeah, he changed his hotkeys, he played an off race, and made to the finals. He was such a talented player. Back then, we were like, he had someone else play for him. He's a cheater. That's the way it went. But no, I mean, Draco came from the Polish scene where Thompson, Sis, even who else?
There was a lot of pro.
The P name,
too.
Driven. He had a
Raven.
There's so many good players. Raven, the Terran player. Thompson,
Thomas
Thomas.
just told me all of them.
They had a good scene in StarCraft 2, but in Brood War, it was like 30 players were very good, actually.
Yeah, it was shocking.
Blackman. Remember Blackman back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Blackman PG, bro. Yeah. He actually, so this is one of the crazy legends of Brood War. And I don't even, as I say it as an adult, I'm like, we were stupid. But he the rumor was he wrote an AI, a program, to play the other races in a certain way he wanted.
I remember that.
And then he practiced against them. And we all believed it. And maybe he did because a lot of people were crazy and are crazy. But that, the weird stuff that happened back then, that was one of the things people talked about.
Now, White Raw, his opponent here, this guy is legendary in multiple ways. Not only is he an incredible player, being in Ukraine, even though there was hardly anybody who was sponsored to play Brood War and made any money, he was one of the only guys who was actually playing Brood War full time for a while in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Because the sponsorship money went a long way out there.
His entrepreneurial spirit goes back. Like back then he was hosting events. He was doing LAN events in Ukraine because he's always been very passionate about that. And the Ukraine scene had good players too back then, by the way. It was a very good scene as well.
Now, shamelessly, Draco has his Null tag. And Null is... I don't really want to call
his membership rescinded, I believe, about 4 years ago.
Nalra's going to call the stream in here and be like, "You're fired, man."
Yeah. I mean,
you owe us money now, Draco. But by the way, real quick, Draco in the top left, White Raw in the bottom right. This is Fighting Spirit, right?
Yeah.
God, I'm good. Just looking at those minerals, I do it.
I know.
Okay?
I know. It's incredible.
Those with great casting power comes great responsibility.
Wow.
Guys. That's why I'm here.
Spider Nick.
Spider taste. Spiders don't taste good, but that's what they call me. Anyways,
I mean,
PvP.
There were clans and there were teams, but I almost want to call them like clubs where you would put a little tag on to say like, oh yeah, these are my people. I kind of hang with them, right? Like, Null Draco played on, I believe it was the Height Sparkies pro team.
Yep.
Way back.
Yeah. And when Draco was there, befriended a whole lot of Korean players and joined the Null Club, which is, of course, famous for Null Ra and Null Rock, other all-star Protoss players. And, of course, I don't even know if he's spoken to any of them in years, but he's going to come here. He's going to put that tag on. This is a LAN party. He gets to call himself whatever he wants.
Didn't White Raw name himself White Raw based off Null Ra?
No.
Is that not true?
Yeah, I asked him last night.
Okay.
He named it after the Egyptian god.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can ask White Raw the same question 4 times. You will get 4 different answers.
Oh my God! Okay, by the way, we have the build order deviation here.
Wow.
Draco's actually going for double gate. Now, I didn't catch when he made the gates. I think that's gate on 10, gate on 12, or gate on 11, gate on 12. So he might, I think, get 3 zealots and get gas. I don't believe he's going to commit full on to a rush here. The problem in PvP is you need gas because you need to get Dragoon range. You need to get obviously Dragoons. You need to get a Reaver, Robo, all that stuff. But zealots are pretty tricky to deal with. Zealots attack faster than Dragoons attack. And they can get in there and kill your workers.
One-on-one.
So sometimes, even though you both want to try to get up to a Robo, generally speaking, eventually, some players will chuck out a few Zealots, start trying to kill your workers, and then tech behind that. But it seems like he's not actually going to – he's not moving that Zealot out. Draco's not. So he might actually just get enough to wall in and then get a gas. This is kind of weird. What do you think, G5?
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to go 3 Zealots and then, throw in a little pressure. It looks like White Raw is going 2 Zealots first, so he should be fine, and he'll have more gas going on throughout the game.
By the way, very important is that White Raw did not get inside Draco's main, but Draco is inside White Raw's main. And this is a StarCraft matchup that operates. Okay, there it is. So he wanted to make it look like he got 1, and now he's going to come out with 3. This is a matchup that's very similar to poker in a lot of ways. There's a lot of bluffing and a lot of disguising information. And some
the Manor Pylon. All right, if you play this game for the first time
in 10 years.
This is called a Manor Pylon. This does 2 things. 1, it prevents. You see that probe that's behind the mineral line? Probes will glitch.
There he is!
Enhanced!
We're in remastered!
Whoa!
The explosions are insane!
He needs to get that back on the ramp.
Nick, you're interrupting.
Yeah, so you
Explain the pylon block,
You
Sean.
lose 25 minerals because you canceled, but it cost more for that for White Raw. But more importantly, the ramp has the potential to be unprotected. Looks like White Raw is actually going to be able to set this up in time.
Okay, now he needs to juggle the Zealots here very carefully. He's going to get this one Zealot. Oh! He gets that one Zealot there. And he needs to try to do as much damage as possible. Now, is he going to go for probes here, or is he going to try to actually do this, take out the Zealot? He's going to go for workers. So let's see how good White Raw's control is.
All right, one false. The inflection point is about 3 or 4. So I mean, if he can do that, that's great news. And these Zealots are expected to die, and this is the weird way that early game harassment works. You want to build up a big army of Dragoons because Dragoons become essentially untouchable compared to Zealots once you have 6 or 7 Dragoons. But if you have one Dragoon really chips away to Zealots super slowly. So there's a whole lot of ways to just like easily lose if you underbuild Zealots as White Raw or overbuild Zealots as now Draco. But I mean, they're both just very nicely timing their transitions, and Draco's going for a very muscular build. He's not transitioning into Robo. White Raw is, I almost feel like White Raw is straight traditional, just get your defense, get your Reavers.
He's playing it pretty safe here. He's getting that Robo.
Be able to expand on one gate, too.
So there's always this looming threat in PvP of did my opponent go DTs? Because you can do a complete different tech shift and get DTs in their base, and if you don't have any observers, I mean, the game is over. The game is over if they don't have a Robo up in time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of bluffing that can go on in a PvP. To try to play around that, but it looks like this time around they're both just going for Robo, in part to get Reavers most likely, but also just to get observers to try to figure out if they can counter DTs or scout their opponent.
Yeah, and the observers aren't just this eye roll thing that you have to do just for DTs. They're really useful for spotting the angle that the shuttle is going to come in at. Here comes Draco. Because Draco went for 2 gate, he has 1 round extra of Dragoons and is able to pick off this first Dragoon from White Raw.
Okay, this is pretty bad for White Raw. He's going to have to go back up above the ramp, and Draco may try to expand and try to get a leg up that way. If you put a couple Dragoons at the bottom of their ramp, first of all, the Dragoon is probably the buggiest unit. It's just hard to control. You can get really good at using it, but it's tough to get a bunch of Dragoons down a ramp if there's a bunch of opposing Dragoons already at the bottom of the ramp in a good position.
They're like the malicious genie in the story that's like, oh, you want to fly, do you? I'll turn into a fly. Dragoons are like, oh, you want me to go there? You didn't tell me I couldn't go backwards first.
It's actually true.
Okay, he has a Zealot in here in the front to try to soak some damage and make it harder. I don't think, is he going to go for this? This is actually kind of crazy here by Draco.
Is he going to go for it?
I was going to say.
Man, is he going to go for it, though?
You know, this is...
They were like,
this is what this cast is. It's just me speculating. I'm like, what if he...
Is he going to go for it, you guys?
Did he lose the game? I don't know. Am I talking to anybody?
Sean, or Nick has commentated so long he can't turn it off. He's like,
turn it off,
he's like, guys, is it going to be a fight? It's like they were fighting. He's like, well, let it play out. I called it, so it goes.
Oh, God.
All right, so we got about 8 Dragoons, which is more than 7, so, that's bad as well. Take it away, Nick.
I'm back, guys. He's got a Reaver at the ramp. Is he going to try to go down?
Can he go down the ramp?
Is he going to do it?
Is he going to load the shuttle?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know because I'm not him. So White Raw is actually powering up here on 3 gates, getting a Reaver, and Draco is he's expanding, guys. There's going to be a push.
Is he expanding?
Is he going to cancel it?
Stop it.
Is he going to cancel it?
I can't.
No, he wasn't. I guess that was a good play.
Okay, well,
guys, in 30 seconds, Nick's going to explain shuttle micro versus non-shuttle Reaver micro, and I cannot wait for this.
Well, you guys get ready, man.
I want to know
Buckle
that
your seatbelts.
There's a lot of different paths that were taken leading up to this point. Draco with the early push, obviously to apply pressure to kill probes, but that follow-up push lets him get this super key first expansion up. And Nick is going to explain the micro in a moment.
All right, get ready.
But the big purpose of Draco's play is he's going to get more gateway units and an earlier expansion, but he's behind on number of Reavers and doesn't have a shuttle yet, so he's not going to be able to leverage shuttle micro to get a more efficient fight. So White Raw, who's behind on expanding, needs to deal damage right now to even the game.
Watch the shuttle. Is he going to lose it? Because if he does, he's in trouble. Okay, the arc here is really good for Draco.
Oh, he needs to get that Reaver.
Yeah, he actually, this is like really good control by White Raw. Let's see. If the two Reavers of Draco.
There it goes.
Oh,
There it goes.
There it goes.
No.
That's it.
Now we know he was going to lose it.
Oh my god.
That is
so funny.
that's the worst thing that could possibly have happened is if you lose the shuttle.
Yeah.
Look at the silent determination on White Raw's face so you can see it in the player cam.
Yeah,
or is that no? That's the stream, I guess. Can they not see that?
No, we can get White Raw's a face, I believe, on here.
Just to work.
If we want to watch him
He's
and
just like-
die and see how he
he's
reacts.
flying.
GG.
Oh, there it is, GG.
Once-
Damn.
Does his shuttle die with multiple Reavers?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where again it's the hump, right? There's these things that
Draco
can
playing in
happen
the
at the
kitchen.
start of the game that can just end the game if you are not careful enough,
yeah.
right? You know, my 2 Reavers are going to each take a shot at your 1 Reaver. All right, cool. Now I'm up 2 Reavers to nothing, but I got to pull the Reavers back. So I'm going to load them up into the shuttle and try to retreat, which is technically the correct play, but you know, it's just so tricky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an interesting game. It seemed like what White Raw was starting to do with the forward robo was actually do a 1 Reaver kind of walk out expand, and then when he saw a bunch of units come and he lost a couple, he just kind of panicked and went 3 gate just try and bust him. And
I feel like his build was okay though. It's just that he lost the shuttle. I mean, if you can,
Yeah.
if you,
Yeah,
if
that
you
was
can juggle
really-
that pretty good, you actually
Yeah.
wreck him. But
It really the Reaver is such a powerful unit. You cannot ever lose that. If he just actually took damage on the Reaver and didn't try to, I guess, play so perfectly that he wasn't going to lose anything, you should win that. All you have to do is have those 2 Reavers shoot the Reaver of Draco.
he did that.
But then once he lost, he
Then
picked
lost
up
it.
the
no,
2
it
Reavers.
started good, and then
Yeah.
there's no reason to walk. I mean, like I guess for our StarCraft 2 fans, like unlike in StarCraft 2 with the Disruptor, where if you pick it up, it cancels its shot. The Reaver
Right.
launches it, pick it up, you can do whatever you want after that. And the Scarab will too, by the way. You'll tell it where to go, and it's like, wow, man, am I gonna hit it? Am I gonna blow up? Then you have the ones that bug out weirdly though, where like they shoot shallow, and they're like, nah.
They just start to seize on a mineral patch.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think this is still something White Rock can win, but he has to be really careful. You guys will experience this if you have not played StarCraft already. Is trying to control Reaver in a shuttle. You can be really abusive with it, but if you mess up, I mean, that can sometimes be the entire game.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you don't actually have to rely that heavily on it. There are plenty of builds that don't put you on razor's edge like that, such as Draco's build, right? You do a little bit of Zealot Micro, and Zealot Micro is something that is kind of like a percentage thing. You over the course of time want to maximize the amount of hits on probes and on other units, and then you get these Dragoons, and those are units that over the course of a fight you want to be able to maximize those shots and get them in good positions, and then Draco is able to get that Reaver out, and it's a very comfortable kind of opening.
Are you ready to start the game, darling?
That's Machine back there.
Bryce looking.
Draco, if you would have told 12-year-old Bryce that I would be this close to your shoulder.
Oh my God.
Your hair is just as I imagined it. Glistening. Draco, man.
That's
he's
Machine
the-
with his build order notebook.
Draco,
right there.
I mean, a lot of people watching know this. It's laminated, dude. He had his laminated, but
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting when Draco was here when I first walked in. He goes, "Hey, Sean." He goes to give me a hug, and I hugged him. And I was like, "You guys have actually never met in real life before?" And he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." Right?
Nope.
It's like one of those things where
Sean usually makes people sign a release to hug him too. That's crazy. Jeez. Just gave him a straight hug like that, but no.
Yeah, we gotta have the indemnification clause. You will only tell people it was a great
It's like,
hug.
you know I don't hug Now Clan people. Get out of here. It's 333 or better, man, forever. Draco, though, in his prime was actually one of the bee's knees. Like, so I saw some people posting the thread, who were the greatest foreigners of all time. Draco was on that list. Like you guys said, went to Korea.
100%.
He was on all the big teams, but he was one of the guys, too, and it's going to sound funny to the StarCraft 2 viewers who are watching, or people that are more familiar with that, but, like, he actually took games off of Koreans in a time where that was mega rare. It actually almost never happened.
Right.
Offline. I mean, online, there's moments it happened, of course. A lot of moments, actually, on the latter, but offline, there was a different thing. There was actually, like, a huge, even more so than now, a pride factor in Korea, where if they lost to a non-Korean, it was, like, a blemish on their overall pro record.
And there was such a skill gap. I mean, just a foreigner
much.
taking off one game from a Korean was
Yep.
like the ultimate victory.
Idra lost like 1-2 to Stork in that Korean event that we all went to.
Yeah.
But that was talked about for years, like a very big deal. And he almost won the other 2 games, but like Stork in his prime was actually one of the final dragons, the biggest ones.
So we got White Raw here in the bottom right as purple, and Draco here in the bottom left in the green.
Hey, thank you.
All right, guys. I'm out of here. I'm phoning this cast in, guys. I am curious to see if White Raw is actually going to do a Reaver push there. That's possibly one of the most painful ways to lose a game in StarCraft, is to just lose the shuttle with the 2 Reavers in it.
Yeah.
That's just...
I thought you meant lose the Reavers. I was like, having get picked up. Well, the part 2 is Dragoons shoot from like 10,000 miles away too, so sometimes you can see it coming. And if you're playing on really high latency, or like not high latency, excuse me, but like LAN latency where you can do things really immediately, sometimes you're like, I'll pick them up real quick and then drop them down, and it pops. And you're like, it's like a 1 second, like, that choice I made was wrong.
I'm actually curious. What is in your eyes the most painful way to lose?
Yeah.
What really hurts you?
I mean, definitely one is losing the shuttle with the... Actually, I would say it's losing to Zerg shenanigans in a PvZ when you're trying to fast expand. As a Protoss play, that's painful.
Incorrect. It's 30 science vessels as a Zerg player.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and then you like go to Scourge one of the defensive matrix on and like, and you're like, oh, you're so cool.
Dude, for me, it's just Marines before 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That makes me so angry because I'm like, I didn't even get to cast any spells.
Yeah, for me, it's just
Probe high five
running by.
The collision in this game is so... I heard you guys freaking out when my lurkers are like popped up and they're like, no, wait, we're on top of each other. So frustrating. Or the amazing, like, really funny Korean Micro 2 where, like, you'll send your lings out, they'll take their worker, put it in front, and have it path where it's just walking in front of you but slower.
Yeah.
And if you don't change your ling's course, they will just
It's
walk
just
in a
body
Congo line
blocks the
slower. They're like,
entire time.
wow, this guy's really slow.
And the most painful thing of all is that all of those pathing things are super predictable and avoidable. It's just that when they happen, you're like, why didn't I...
Yeah.
Like the lurker thing, like when they popped up and the lurkers began to do, like, you know, their game of Twister.
Oh, I know.
I was just...
We're relearning. At least for me, I'm relearning all it. Thank God Peaks to Bakedu's not in the map pool.
Oh, God.
I would have a Hydra just rammed into the wall in the middle of it and be like, guys, I'm too fat to get through here.
That was my best map ever.
Oh, it's so fun. Savior era, man. Oh, we can't say his name. Savory.
So, I mean, both players are opening up in the most traditional standard way, which is you go straight for the Cybernetics core. After one gateway, you get a Zealot and then a Dragoon. And then there begins to be some gentler forks. We're not seeing anything too dramatic out of either player, but...
There's actually a lot to these openers here. With like, do you get 1 or 2 Zealots, or, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Especially because in Brood War, 2 things are really notable about the experience of the game. You don't give yourself solutions, you give yourself tools. You have a Dragoon. A Dragoon can
I think I've
do
seen that
stuff.
poster before. It's like
What?
a motivational poster, right?
I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm just saying
I like
things.
it.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are... It's good. You know what, Jeff?
You have to be a skilled caster to outmaneuver the in control troll moves. Yeah. Sounds like I did not know that was a poster.
Yeah, I mean, like, StarCraft 2 has a lot of, solution-type moments in it. Like, oh, this rush, you just need to do this to get the 3rd Immortal out. And then it's secured, and the Immortal just blasts things down. But, a lot of Dragoons and Zealot type maneuvers are very subtle and very, like, gradual ways to get extra shots off with your Dragoons. Positioning your Dragoons properly, setting up your retreat angles as to avoid future pathing problems. And a lot of these little... behaviors result in players who can put themselves ahead or behind with almost any opening.
We got a kind of funny situation here. They're both so far basically doing mirrored builds. And you can get in a situation in a PvP where you both got 3 gates up, you both have a robo up, you may both just be going for observers or just going for shuttle reaver, but then it's kind of a funny spot where it's like, do I expand now?
Am I going to do it?
Am I going to do it? And you gotta be ready, because sometimes the guy that expands first, when they're both doing the same builds, can end up being the one that loses just because he spent his 400 minerals first on the Nexus.
That is kind of funny.
One of the benefits of this particular map is that if you look outside the natural expansion, there's a common shape, a double bridge, which is generally enough to have a medium-sized army defended, but not a small-sized army. And, you know, if you have your Dragoon Reaver, if they're later or if you're in lower numbers, a double bridge can often be your solution. So this is where we see a lot of corner cutting to get early expansions up on this particular map because it's so safe.
So, there are points in time where you end up skipping the shuttle to get a Reaver out to scoot down the ramp.
Yeah.
One thing to keep in mind, with the robo, you're only going to be able to, you only have one robo at the start, and you're incrementing out 3 really important units. The shuttle, so that to pair with the Reaver, so that you can actually attack with the Reaver. You have the observer to stop DTs and also help you get a good position. And then you have, of course, the Reaver, which is the big damage dealer. But you have to decide: do I want 2 observers, one to be back at home to stop the DT, the other one to find out what they're doing? Or do I get that Reaver out right away because I think he might try to bust me and I want to expand? So we want to keep our eyes peeled for that.
I forgot there was a damage upgrade to the Reaver. I was playing around the other day. It's like, holy cow. Is it plus 25?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah, and there's a famous game between Mondragon and Reach where there was a bug that let you upgrade it 3 times. And Reach just upgraded 3 times, so he was
Why
doing
not?
175 damage Reavers. Mondragon won that game.
One-shotting hatches.
Needed the 4th upgrade. He's like, this is bull crap.
Didn't quite get the exploit there.
Need to 2-shot those Ultras. Come on.
Yeah, and I mean, this sort of super standard opening, I mean, I recommend to anyone playing. You don't need to get tricksy because, again, your units are strong tools. You can make them do all sorts of cool stuff like, oh, you're expanding. I could send all of my Dragoons and my Reaver to the front. I could also send all my Dragoons to the front and the Reaver to the back. I could send the Reaver to slice in between, which is the most vulnerable angle but gives you the option to attack and go into the main base.
Yeah.
You can show at the top end of the main base to draw things away from the front and then to pull back. So there's lots of little tactics that exist.
So see this pylon right here?
You said tactics.
This is really important. Can we go back to that pylon? So because Dragoons are very hard to control, if you put one pylon out in the front like that, occasionally some of their attacking Dragoons end up firing at that pylon initially. And since Dragoons don't actually attack that fast, having the first volley hit a pylon could end up deciding to fight. So with that being said...
You also can warp in there, though, Nick.
Yeah, that's where you get your warp gate set up and everything. So he's going to have... we're going to have Draco now taking an expand. We see that defensively positioned pylon. He's got the 2 Reavers here. And we don't have White Rod taking a Nexus, which either means... Well, he means he's probably going to attack. He might be trying to make it look like he's got an expansion up. That's why he's so far out, so a scouting probe can't get in there. But we're going to have to see. This is the redemption game, guys.
Yeah, it's 2 Dragoons, and well, now 4, spotting for an observer as well, trying to deny information. Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, he's going for it.
Yeah. And this is a type of play that for a long time I was never comfortable doing, which is a play whose outcome is decided purely by control. This is an even fight. That's all this is. It's just an even fight.
Okay, hold up.
Except the shuttle, maybe.
Yeah, the shuttle's the big...
Never mind!
Uh-oh.
He's got to back up. Oh, my God! No! Where is this going? He's going to try to drop in the main here.
All right, the shuttle's gone, though. The shuttle's... is that shuttle going to live? No.
Yeah,
no, it's going to stay alive.
It's going to stay alive for
Pick
now.
it up.
There's one more Dragoon.
Pick it up.
Oh, no.
We got to... Okay,
no.
he's
he's got the bomb in the ramp.
Hold on. He can actually go down on the low ground here. He needs to get the Dragoons further forward here.
2 Reavers
now
versus
Draco's
non.
shuttle's in danger.
Ooh.
He's a little too late
Now,
on that.
with the 2 Reavers and the shuttle, he should be able to take the fight.
Should be able to. It was really good. Draco's
This is basically game here. I mean, White Rod did an all-in.
He still doesn't have an expansion.
Yeah.
He says, you make expand and defend it, you win.
this is a very good angle for White Rod. He's going to get a few extra Dragoon shots, but the Reavers are coming in, and there's just not quite enough Dragoons
By the
for
way,
White Rod to punish this.
Draco's executing quite well. So
really
we were talking about Rhett. We were talking about Nyoken. I think we add Draco to that list of people
I agree.
that have been cheekily playing to make us look bad.
Yeah, from here he just counter pushes. There's nothing fancy that you have to do besides, of course, just always try to keep the shuttle alive for as long as possible. But honestly, even if he lost that, I think if a few more gateways get up here for Draco, this just begins to snowball.
Nick, explain to me the advantage of having expansion versus not, though.
Well, it's all a game about money. You see, it all comes down here. If you look at the top right of your screen, you're going to see
money.
The blue stuff and the green stuff going up. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. The more of that you get, you don't save it. You spend it, okay? You're not going to pay for your kids' braces with that money.
Trickle-down economics,
That's
my
right,
butt.
Yeah. And so, there you go. By the way, Draco being really conservative here. I actually thought he was going to counter push. And White Raw is... Now, is he going to... If he makes a Nexus and Draco doesn't attack, I guess the game just goes on. But
yeah, I mean,
he could also try to do a follow-up push again, although the probability of that working is pretty damn low.
I'd love speed shuttle harass from
Draco.
That'd be good, actually.
I mean, I think this is just a very safe, smart play from Draco because one of the big ways that you can lose to all-ins is failed counter pushes because you'll note that White Rod does have 3 gateways. Now Draco has 2 gateways. And... Well, those just finished, by the way.
Can we put Draco on camera for a second? I want to talk about something.
How try-hard he looks?
No. Well, we'll see if we can manage.
We don't have the production for it.
We don't
just tell us what you're thinking.
The technology's there. Yeah, no. We'll wait until we get on camera. But hold on. We have him. We have White Rod pushing out here now.
You think I expand? Incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, this is very even. Like it's really number of production structures that is one of the biggest determiners of your army strength. And so I think that this is a pretty even fight right now. It looks like White Rod does have more Dragoons overall, though. But after one production cycle, now Draco will be even, and then he will be ahead.
It's going to come down a lot to how the
He needs to control the Reavers, man. His Reavers last time, he like dropped them off in both this game and the last one, and then the shuttle just kind of wanders off. Just,
okay.
You gotta stay with
this is super late expand here, but let's see how much damage the Reavers can do. If the Scarabs connect really well on the Dragoons, or... there's some whiffing there from Draco. Maybe he's got a shot. He did get the Observer.
This is good. Killing the Observer lets you get better positioning with your shuttles, which, as we see, is the biggest determiner of who's going to win the fight.
Does he have 3 Reavers now?
Yeah, 1 on the ground and 2 in the shuttle.
So he's going to try to come in at this angle. There's 2 pylons up here to try to soak some of the Dragoon shots.
Great response by Draco to pull back.
Okay, Reaver's coming down here now.
White Raw.
Oh! Drop it! Oh,
he got it off. He at least dropped it.
That was very nice by White Rod. Oh my god!
The targeting here by Draco is really good with these
targeting
Reavers.
by White Rod is also excellent, but all the Dragoons are dying miserably.
Well,
he needs to target those Reavers, man.
Is he?
No, he's just moving.
He's almost out of Scarabs. Okay, this is
pull back.
Oh my god, is he actually going to bust him?
Is he going to do this?
Is he going to do it? It's
hold on.
Ah! Get the shuttle. He's got 1 Dragoon free fire net.
Oh my god, is he going to
do it?
Oh god!
There it goes.
All right.
Oh my god, it's a straight trade.
And okay,
nope.
This
White Raw wins.
This is
he's got just okay. Now he has to control this perfectly.
No, this is again.
He has to stay at
or
the
at
bottom
least
of the
above
ramp.
average. He has to control at least above average.
Yeah, no.
He's got to get at least a C+ on control, and he passes.
See, if he stays at the bottom of the ramp here, those goons are gonna have a hell of a time getting down.
There's that Dragoon doing
ramps
the dance.
give huge advantages, but look at this. Draco's going to use his probes, send them down in the front, which will give the opportunity for the larger Dragoon count of Draco to also get down. But White Raw, again, needs to just micro a little carefully. It's this next round of Dragoons. White Raw, pull back, get out of there. You're in an even fight.
Good rally. Man,
he's still taking out workers while this is going on,
gosh,
so keep that in mind when this is all.
He's got his expansion up back home.
What a fight from White Raw, man.
Okay, now he might still be making a shuttle and a Reaver. There might be a follow-up coming in here. Okay, now he's going to back up.
Right, 3 versus 7. I think we favor the 7.
Yeah, 7 is oftentimes greater than 3.
Now, I'm not sure how many workers. Are we able to check how many workers were killed in this?
This is Brood War, bro.
We have no idea.
We're just going to look. And
that's
can we make stuff up? I'm like, it was 13. I was counting. So I was counting. I'm the Rain Man.
Don't question me.
You can't see what I see.
White Rod looks like he has more, which is surprising.
Yeah. So this game actually is totally shifted because even though Draco survived, he lost so many workers in that fight. He had to send the workers out to help defend, but White Rod's actually in decent shape.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that Draco built Reavers, or excuse me, he built no Reavers during that defense because Reavers are very good in middle numbers, but they tend to struggle in very small numbers. So if it's something like you have 7 Dragoons and I have 3 Dragoons and a Reaver, that's just strictly worse than actually me having 6 Dragoons versus your 7, plus my probes.
It'll like you're paying for the one shot is usually what happens, and more often than not, you have like 4 or 5 queued up behind that too, so you just lose 60 minerals or whatever.
So I mean, It was a smart response from Draco in order to pull that off, but I mean, this is just a testament to White Raw's control and his comfort with engaging in these battles that are essentially even fights, going to be completely decided by control. And the second Gas Geyser is now up for White Raw, which means finally, after this very dangerous opening, he can transition.
Yeah, we're eventually going to see High Templars and Zealots with speed here. So you can actually start to get a pretty normal-looking Protoss army. Early on, Dragoons and Reavers are so powerful that if somebody's trying to transition too quickly, they just die to the Dragoon Reaver player.
Uh-oh. That's a big army to a small one.
Yeah, he's got a Reaver, though.
It's also possible that Draco didn't try to remake as many probes because he already had so many gates up and is just pumping that out, where if White Raw's playing so clean, trying to balance out workers and attacking units, this might overrun him. It's hard to do with the two bridges there.
Yeah, double bridges are just... I love double bridge maps. Destination's awesome. Circuit Breaker's awesome.
So, I don't think Draco can actually try to cross that. I think he's going to just stay back.
Awesome.
Oh, is it though?
Oh my god.
Is it though?
Dude, that is the first time in my life when I was playing super seriously all the time and every map had no gas naturals. So Nostalgia was the best no gas natural map of all time.
It's the best turd of the turds.
I know, it was a premier turd.
I have my one High Templar, and I'll just always get overrun by Hydras because there's no gas in my base. I'm like, is this my fault? I don't know. We got.
Is this my fault?
Is this my bad, or is this
Am I to
something
blame?
wrong here? Okay, we're actually going to have a collision here on the
Are we
though?
Is he going to do it? Well, White Rod is not at the edge in this
yeah,
fight.
he's
now.
actually got a pretty
two
puny
Reavers,
armor.
bro. He's got two. If he controls it.
This is a pretty open area, though. The Reavers, they lose equity when the map is super open like this.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They're great in like narrow areas.
Yeah.
Like over the bridges.
It's frustrating though because sometimes you'll go to target the shuttle, you'll move forward, they drop it off, and then you just take a clustered hit.
Oh, it only lost shields. He meant to do that. He's going back.
Shields recharge, but extremely slowly. Not like in StarCraft 2 shields.
I can't believe he's attacking here. This is insane.
Well, Wyra's on one base now. His main's mined out.
Yeah.
There it is.
If he expands behind this attack, then this is a successful play for sure. But I think he needs to expand to the right
shuttle
side.
Draco as well. Look at the supplies, man. Dead even. What a beautiful game. You know what I mean?
If he just over time,
he's gonna elevate.
He loads his whole army into the main.
He will.
Do it.
Yeah, that's
Just like. Oh my God.
Okay, he actually can't drop out of the shell. He can't
No! He did it again.
Oh my God!
And he's staying there too.
He's staying. What is happening?
no.
He needs to not.
Look,
do
he's
this.
still trying to get the shuttle. Draco's like, you can have the shuttle, man. That's fine.
Yeah, this is. Oh my God! White Raw had pulled it all back and then lost the shuttle again.
4 Reavers,
Now
2
he's-
shuttles.
Oh no!
Dead Raw. GG. That was quite a game. That was quite a parable about keeping your shuttle safe, keeping
The
your Reaver
face of
safe.
defeat. But a lot of purple.
Somebody should go up and be like, hey, man, you can't lose your shuttle.
Someone's tweeting him right now. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's keep those alive.
No, it's a
Great game, White Raw.
It's a statement that's true, but it's just not useful.
No.
Yeah, no, that's why it's fun.
It's like when you slam your foot in the wall and someone's like, shouldn't stub your toe, and you're like, ah, thank you.